Okay. Now, as you know, this is week 2, and we're going to be talking about opening leads. It's a fraught issue for everyone, and I just have to remind you all that you are not alone. We all have this problem with opening leads. So if we can work out a routine and think through it, it's probably a good idea, and that way it might help with the decision you have to make an opening lead. But it is difficult, so don't think that it's not, and it's the same for everyone. So take your time. You're allowed to think about your opening lead. Everyone expects you to think about your opening lead, so give it some thought. Now, you'll find that most good players do have a script in their head that they go through and a routine. I liken it to AFL players, if you're of that ilk, kicking for goal. You know, they take a deep breath, they go back 20 metres or some even longer and count down and take their 30 seconds and then go through their routine and kick and then miss. But we don't want to do that. We're going to hit. And so what you have to do is, there's a few things to think about. Now, of course, there's the auction. Remember that even if, look, there's all of Nan.
There's poor Nan.
There you go. And with the auction, even if your side hasn't bid, you know the opponents have, because they're playing the hand. So what you have to do is think about the auction, and it's not only what they have bid, but it's what they haven't bid. It's what your partner hasn't bid. If they got an opportunity to overcall at the one level to show a 5-card suit and 9-10 points and didn't do so, then you take that into consideration as well. Now, the one thing I want to stress, as I did yesterday, is you need to assess the experience of the opponents. Now, if you're playing against a pair that you think are quite experienced or they're a good pair, you can usually trust their bidding. And you know that if they haven't bid no trumps or they haven't bid the game, there's a good reason for this. So that's something to consider as well. It's often easier to assess and just trying to interpret the opponent's bidding if they're experienced than the lesser experienced people. So that's something to keep in mind. And I was also, as I said, about taking your time. The other thing you might have noticed that I've mentioned is that it might be an idea to think to yourself, am I going to be assertive or passive during this defence process? Okay. Now, the reason I say that is it's something to think of, what type of stance you're going to take. Often, when you're defending no trumps, 1, 2, 3 no trumps especially, you sit back and you might make a passive lead because it doesn't give anything away. There's nothing that an experienced declarer likes more than you leading a suit that will give them an extra trick. Okay, they rub their hands together. But no trumps is a long waiting game sometimes. You have to wait for the tricks to come to you instead of banging down your aces and kings. When you're defending a suit contract, because of the fact that the power of the trump suit might be there for declarer when they are out of a suit, that sometimes gives you a more urgency to make an assertive or an aggressive lead to try and get quick tricks. Okay, so after you go through these things, the best idea is to choose the suit to lead and then lead the card in the suit that is appropriate from the standard lead table that we just spoke about. So think about those things too. And you're on your way, but take your time. Take your 30 seconds or however long. Well, you're not going to take much more than that, but don't be one of these people that say, hold on a sec, I think Penny Malumbi's made it across the causeway. Hi, Penny. She's just connecting to audio.
Yes.
And then we'll be right. Oh, and
Sandy.
I can see Sandy Gadd standing in the background looking beautiful. Penny Malumbi, you made it across the causeway. He did.
Low level flying, Richard.
Righto. Okay. All right. So there's quite a few of us now, 14 of us or so. That's good. Welcome to Penny and welcome to Sandy Gadd. Now, we were just talking about formulating a plan when you make the opening lead. You know, has your side bid? What have the opponents bid? Because you know that they've bid something because they're playing the contract. And what haven't they bid? Are they experienced opponents, meaning you can trust their bidding more so usually than less experienced opponents? And did your side get a chance to bid and didn't take the opportunity? They might be a passed hand, or you open and they didn't respond, so they've got less than 6 points. Your partner might have had a chance to overcall at the one level but didn't take that opportunity, so therefore they mightn't have 10 points or 9 or 10 points in a 5-card suit, that sort of thing. And then once we make these calculations and thought processes in our mind, you don't want to be the person that says, okay, 4 spades, and you've got a card out before the end of the option to lead. Okay, think about it. Take your time. You won't get another chance. Choose the suit to lead first, and then play the appropriate card from the standard lead table that we're talking about and lead that card. Now, I don't think we have any more people that's going to join us. Pemberton's were, but I'm not sure if, where they are. So if someone pops along, we'll let them in, but we're going to carry on. We're going to push on. Now, I'm just going to show you. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to share the screen and then we'll be right and I'll show you some hands, okay? Where am I sharing? This one. Okay, can you all see the screen that I'm sharing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes?
Yep.
Okay, so you should be able to see the west hand. You're going to be west for about 5 or 6 hands. You should be able to see the west hand, and you should be able to see the complete auction, and you're going to be on lead for the first whatever number of hands, okay? So what I want you to do is I'll walk you through the first process, and it might be an easier one, this first hand, and think to yourself, okay, has my partner bid? No. Did my partner get a chance to bid? Probably not, because it got to 3 spades before partner gets a go. Now, and the opponents have gone, we're assuming they're playing limit raises, so North has 10 to 12 points and at least 3 spades, and that then South bid 4 spades. What I want you to do before we choose the opening lead, think about and tell me what partner has. Shape, points, whatever. Just tell me what you think they have.
About 14 points.
They're going to have points because let's say we're playing against experienced players. The good observation, by the way. Let's say we're playing against experienced players and they have 25 points between them that may or may not include shortages. So they've got 25 points enough for game. Now, if that's high card points, that means partner has 13 points, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because we have 2.
Mm.
All right, so partner has points. Partner may have but just think about this. If they have a fit, we probably have a fit. So partner's probably got got either 4 hearts or 4 clubs, or one of those, and may have long diamonds as well. Partner's going to have probably 2 spades, or maybe only 1, because they have at least 8 spades between them. These are the things you think of. And you think to yourself, okay, we'll talk about trump leads in a little while, but you think to yourself, I'm going to go through these suits. Is this the right hand to lead a trump? Probably not, and I'll tell you why in a while. If I lead a heart, partner probably has something in hearts, probably has an honour in hearts. That might work. If I lead a diamond, partner may have a high diamond, and I might be able to get a rough, i.e. if partner has the ace of diamonds and leads a small diamond back, we can trump it. Okay, if I lead a club, would be probably a passive lead, partner has or doesn't have something in clubs, the declarer and dummy maybe only have one or two in one of the hands. So anyway, working through those, and that, by the way, I did mention to you that when you consider a diamond lead, it's because it's a singleton diamond. If your partner has the ace and leads a diamond back, you'll be able to utilise one of your small trumps. Now, this would be an extra trick. We spoke last week about extra tricks. Your 7-6-5 of trumps is not going to take a trick. So if you can make a trick with it when you trump diamonds, it's not going to take a natural trump trick. If you can trump with it, it's going to be an extra trick, isn't it?
Yes.
So what you'll consider out of those, the likelihood is that many people here would choose to lead a singleton diamond. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the reason you do is that partner may have the ace, they may have the ace king, they may have the king queen, they probably have an honour in diamonds. And if they don't, you haven't given up anything much. Now, if they, you might have lost the tempo a bit, but if they have, even if they have the king queen, the likelihood is that that they might get in again and be able to lead a diamond back to you. Now, this is the best laid plans, though. All of you have suffered this experience where you think, I'm going to lead my singleton here, partner will win the ace, lead a diamond back, I trump that, then I lead a low club to their ace, they lead that another diamond back, we win the first 4 tricks. That's how it says, that's what it says in your head. That's how I'm thinking, right? That sort of thing. So you lead your diamond, partner wins the ace, all well and good, and now they switch to a heart or something like that. You think, oh, well, them's the breaks, because these things happen. We are not always on the same wavelength of partner. Partner might be able to see that you have a singleton diamond. But in this case, that's what I would lead. Now, in this slideshow, I've just got the card highlighted that I think would probably be the best lead. Okay, so all of you can see that, yes?
Yes.
Singletons are good leads if you have worthless trumps and you believe that partner has a high card in diamonds. Well, partner's got 12, 13 points here, so they're going to have high cards somewhere. If they don't have points in trumps, they're going to have them somewhere else. So partner probably does have an ace or a king around to make up that 13 points or about.
Yeah, your chicken.
Sorry?
I can hear your chickens.
Oh, yes, the roosters are crowing. Sorry about that. And we got an actual egg yesterday, the first time in the last month or two because of the winter shutdown. So, yeah, so they might be laying some more today.
Happy rooster.
Yeah, it's a happy rooster. He's got about 8 hens out there.
He's very happy.
Yes, I'm not sure if he's got time to crow, really. Anyway, we're just...
He's crowing about having all the hens.
I know, I think he is. All right, I'm going to show you another hand, and I want you to... the next hand has the same bidding, but your hand is slightly different. This time you have 5 points. Now, I want to know what your thought processes are this time about what partner has, what you might be thinking, etc. Over to you.
I have no idea.
All right. Marlene, was that you with no idea?
Yes.
Well, tell me this, Marlene. How many points does partner have if the opponents have bid the game?
Oh, that's maths. I can't figure
About
that out.
10.
9.
Well, you
Check.
might need some math tutoring. I'll get Greg Sheridan onto you. He'll teach you calculus while he's at it.
You tell me, and then I'll work back from there.
Now,
Check.
yesterday I did say that a famous bridge player once said, okay, you count your winners, you count your losers, and if they don't add up to 13, you count your cards. So what are we thinking here? We're thinking, okay,
I'm thinking the 6 of hearts.
all right, this is a lead. All right, what about before we get to the lead? What are we thinking? How many?
Partner's got about 10 points.
Yes, there's that Kath Baggeridge. Partner has about 10 points. That's what I think too. Assume the opponents have got about 25. So if they've got 25, there's 15 left for you and partner. You have 5. Partner's probably got about 10 points. I believe that too. Now, do you have a natural trump trick here?
Yes.
I'd
Yes,
say
yes.
probably or
Yeah.
possibly.
Possibly.
If South has the ace of spades, you have a natural trump trick, yes? If North, dummy, has the ace of spades, then you mightn't have a natural trump trick because it might be able to get picked up. Now, one of the reasons we lead a singleton is that because we might be able to utilise one of our smaller worthless trumps. So the 8 of diamonds as a singleton doesn't stand out as much this time. Now the other three suits, I wouldn't be leading a trump here. Now remember the table of standard leads. Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
We've got someone else waiting. It's the Pembertons.
Mm.
And we'll let them in. Wait a sec.
Fourth highest from a
Anona.
fourth highest from an honour.
Yeah. Promises and honour.
Glitch there. I think I'm right now.
Fourth, hi Penny, fourth highest from an honour.
Yes. Hello, Mike Pemberton.
Hello, Richard. Sorry we're a bit late. We had other things to do.
Oh, that's all right. Now we're just sharing a screen here. If you can see it, is that Sue just lurking stage left?
I'm just.
There you go. How's
You
that?
really
There you
don't.
go. Are you making the coffee for us all?
No,
I haven't done it.
haven't done
Hey,
that.
look, don't interrupt the lesson. Just keep.
Righto. Okay. All right. So we're talking about a few hands and what you might lead and what you might think. We're under hand 2, and we worked out that partner probably has about 10 points because we have 5 and they've bid the game. We're talking about which suit we might lead. And we're thinking that now, as someone rightly pointed out, if you're leading a heart, you would lead 4th highest from an honour.
Yes.
If you don't have a sequence. A sequence usually means honour sequence, not small card sequence. So in this instance, if you've chose to lead hearts, you lead the 4 of hearts. If you choose to lead diamonds, you only get one choice. Now, do you remember that little acronym we had last week? Boston. Bottom of something, top of nothing.
Top of nothing.
All right. So that means if you've got something in a suit, you lead a low card, i.e. 4th highest. If you've got nothing in a suit, mean no honour, you lead a high card, which some people play as either the highest from nothing or the second highest from nothing. And in my notes for the standard leads, I've put down the second highest from worthless cards, that's what a lot of people play in Australia. So if you're going to lead a heart, you'd lead the 4 of hearts. If you're going to lead a club, you'd lead the 8 or the 7 of clubs, top of nothing. Bottom of something, top of nothing. Now, in this instance, I'd be a bit reluctant to lead a diamond, even though partner may have the ace, because we probably have a natural trump trick with the king of spades anyway, and we're less likely we're not likely to get 2 trumps out of this. So it may give something away to lead a diamond, because remember, partner may have king of diamonds and declarer might have ace queen, and you're probably giving a trick away. So when I noted what card that I might lead in this one, I highlighted 3 cards because I think they're fairly equal about what you might lead. Perhaps I'd lead the 4 of hearts, but you know, I don't know. I mean, being a fickle human, you might choose something on a different day depending on which way the wind's blowing from. There's not much out there today, though. Okay, so that's that hand. Now we'll just move on to another hand, and this one is a bit different again, but it's almost the same. You're back to having 2 points. Where's Harry Vanderbeek? I tell you what, he'd be going to complain about these hands, wouldn't he? And this time you have 2 points. You don't have a singleton this time. You have a more balanced hand. So tell me what you think. Again.
Of hearts.
4 of hearts.
Yes, that's what you would lead. I want you to go through a thought process before you bang down the 4 of hearts and think. I want you to think about what the opponents have.
13 points.
Partner's probably got about the same, about 13 points.
Yes.
Now, going through each suit, hearts, diamonds and clubs. Hearts may promote. We talked last week about promoting tricks. If partner has the king of hearts and we lead a heart, that would promote our queen if it goes king and they win their ace. The diamonds, you have a doubleton. Now, doubleton leads are notoriously bad in as much as they usually give more away than they promote. You may be able to get a ruff in spades if partner has the ace king of diamonds, but it mightn't be likely. You could try it, but it's more likely to give tricks away than not. As I noted, as I put in the notes, you know, someone once quipped, the only good time to lead a doubleton is when it's a singleton. Okay, if your partner bid diamonds, it's a different matter. You're going blind here. So yes, you would lead, if you chose a diamond, you'd lead the 8 of diamonds. If you chose a heart, because that's the top of the doubleton, 8 of diamonds. If you chose a heart to lead, you'd lead the 4 of hearts, 4th highest from an honour. And if you chose to lead a club, you'd lead the 8 or the 7 of clubs. So think about those things before you just think to yourself, I'm going to lead a heart here. Think about the bidding and the inferences from the bidding. Okay. So I said either a heart or a club. I think are pretty equal here. If I wanted to give not too much away, I'd probably lead a club. If I wanted to try and win a couple of extra tricks, I might lead a heart. It's that thing about whether or not it's passive or assertive, your defensive strategy for each hand. So there you go. And the other thing to think of is try to lead to your partner's hand because partner has more points than you. The same as, it's very similar to the bidding. If you have more points than partner, you're usually the one that decides where you're going to play or what you're going to bid. When you're defending, if partner has more points than you try to accommodate them by leading what you think might be their suit. Okay. Now let's move on to another hand.
Richard?
Yes, who was that? Mike?
Sorry, just can I just ask, when you go 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 spades, is it better to have a passive or an active lead against that? I mean,
I think that you, as I was saying before, that usually you have more of an assertive lead against suit contracts because you don't get as much time to establish tricks as you do in no trumps. So in that instance, it's very close, and that's how the bidding went last time. Let's look at the previous slide again. That's the thing. I think it's a very close go. I would, probably lead a heart. thinking your partner's got the king jack or the ace or whatever, we might win 1 or 2 heart tricks, or establish at least 1 or 2 heart tricks. And depending on how I'm feeling, if I didn't want to give anything away, because I'm playing against good players, I might, more experienced players, I might lead the 7 of clubs. But anyway, that's a decision for each hand, depending on the bidding, taking all those things into consideration. Okay.
Richard,
Now, yes.
Richard, I don't understand why it's the second. You've got 8, 7, 6 and 2 or something of clubs. Why
Yeah.
is it second one of the 4?
Okay. It's just a conventional thing, the same as when we say you lead the 4th highest from an honour.
Yes.
Thinking of the acronym, bottom of something, top of nothing. Now, it all
Yes.
depends what agreement you have with partner. My agreements that I have with my partners is with 4 worthless cards, we lead the 2nd highest. With
Thank
3
you.
worthless cards, we lead the middle up, down, as we spoke about last week.
Yeah.
It's just whatever your preferences are, an agreement that you have with partner. Just don't lead the 2 of clubs here, because partner will think you have an honour. Lead the 8 or the 7 and discuss it with your partner. It probably doesn't matter a great deal. You might find out more next week when we talk about counting cards and signalling. Next lesson, but for this instance, just think lead a high card, and if you don't have an agreement with partner, just lead the 8 or the 7, but make sure you talk about it with partner at some time. Okay, now this next hand, that's all right. Similar bidding, the bid to game, but now it's gone 1 spade, 2 spades, 4 spades, and you are on lead again, Wes. So it's difficult for you to think, here we go again. 4 hands in a row and I'm on lead again. What are the odds? What are you thinking?
Well, partner less, only 6.
6.
Yeah, count partner for about 6 points. 5 or 6, or 1 either way, okay?
Partner's points are probably in diamonds or clubs.
Partner's points are probably in diamonds or clubs, and you might queer the pitch if you lead one of those. If they've got the king and declarer has the ace in one of those suits, their king's going to be sacrificed for maybe no good reason. So thinking about that, what other
The
options?
King of Hearts.
King of Hearts.
Let's say if we decide on the suit first, well, I'll get you into this routine if I have to drag you kicking and screaming. Okay, so let's say we decide we're leading a heart. If we do, the lead would be the King of Hearts. And the reason is, if you look at that table of standard leads, when you decide to lead a sequence and against a suit contract, it's perfectly acceptable to lead the top of a sequence of 2, King, Queen. Not so good against no trumps, because usually you would need a sequence of 3 or close to it. The reason is, imagine here, you have to extrapolate your thoughts a bit here. Imagine that the opponents have 8 spades, which they said they have at least 8 spades. You probably have 8 hearts between you and partner. Now, if you have 8 hearts between you, how many does that leave the opponents?
5.
5.
5, meaning the most that one of the, at the very best for you, one of them will have a doubleton at most. Okay, so if they've only got a doubleton heart, you can't establish more than 1 heart trick here. That's why it's okay to lead from the top of a sequence of 2. Now, so yes, a sequence, a 2 is an okay sequence against a suit contract. You lead the king, they win the ace, you later win the queen. You're probably not going to win another heart anyway, because one of them has a doubleton at most.
Want some more, dear?
Okay, so let's, that bit's fine. Now
What's
let's
the one
change
down?
the hand around a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting a bit tricky here. So buckle up, you could be in for a bumpy ride. Okay, This one's slightly different. Tell me what you think about this hand, what the opponents, what your defence strategy might be,
We have 8.
They've probably
etc.
got 5 or
Partner's
6.
got about 7.
Yep,
Mhm.
that's right. Partner's got 6 or 7 points. Okay, let's assume they have 25. If they have 25, partner has 7 points. Yeah. Usually you only be one off either way. Okay.
So you know that
Partner may not even have any trumps.
Partner may not have any trumps. Good point.
Mm, mm.
Partner's got, and if they do, they've only got one at most, haven't they? Because you have,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
And they may have something decent in diamonds or
Clubs.
clubs. Mm.
Yep. And if they do, it might get captured if you lead it as well. But, you know, that's the way things go. So what is your defensive strategy here? Find an honour with partner? Or what was the overall strategy? I'm asking you a trick question here because you have to think outside the box a little bit here. How many spades does South have?
5.
Let's say they have 5, not 6. Let's say they have 5.
Yep.
You have 4. Now, if you shortened South spades to 3, you'll have more trumps than them. And then you'll be guaranteed of 2 trump tricks. Is there a way of shortening their trumps without shortening yours?
make them
Getting
use-
them to trump.
Fold in.
Getting them to trump, Mike Pemberton. That's the way. What would be a good option here to get them to trump?
hearts, I would say.
Yes.
Hearts.
Yes.
Okay. Imagine that you and partner have 8 hearts between you. Declarer's got 1 or 2, say. Now, I want you to imagine that your partner has the Queen of Hearts. And I'll step you through something. Now, you lead. We won't say partner's got the Ace of Hearts because that would be a bit fantastic. So you lead. If you're going to lead a heart, you would lead the 3 of Hearts.
Yes.
Okay,
Fourth
4th
highest.
from not a sequence, 4th highest. Partner plays the Queen. Declarer wins the Ace of Hearts. And let's say they've got a singleton Ace of Hearts. All right. Declarer then leads the King of Spades. You then win the Ace of Spades, yes?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Then you bang down the King of Hearts. Declarer trumps this. How many trumps does Declarer have now?
4.
They're down to 4. They're down to 3. They're down to 3. They've led the king and they've trumped a heart. They're down to 3 trumps, and so are you. You now have the same number of trumps as Declarer. Now, I know that inexperienced players think to themselves, I'm not going to lead this suit because Declarer will trump it. Have you all thought that?
Yes.
But what if you end up with as many trumps as them? Let's say in this scenario that we've outlined, you lead the King of Hearts, Declarer trumps it with a small trump. They are down to 3 trumps, and so are you. You have the 6, 5, 2, and they have 3 trumps. Now, let's say they could draw all of the trumps. But if they attempt to and do it, they'll be out of trumps. Now, think of it yourself. If you're a declarer, would you like to be run out of trumps?
No.
No.
Okay, so they won't be able to draw all of the trumps here because you've shortened their trumps to the same length as you. Now, this is called a forcing defence, where you force the declarer to win, to trump a suit in which they are short, to lessen the number of trumps they have down to the number of trumps that you have or less. And it could be you or it could be partner that has a shortage. or a length in trumps. One has a shortage, one has the length. So this is the forcing defence. And I know this may be difficult for you to see, but that's okay. I just wanted to explain the number of ways that you have at your disposal to try to take advantage of the declarer. Now, all of you have been in a position where, okay, I am playing this hand, it feels good, I'm doing all right here. And then either because of the lay of the cards or the experience of the opponents, you have a niggling doubt in your mind and you think, oh, hold on, it's not going quite as well as I thought. I can't get the dummy, or I've run out of trumps, or whatever. We all know that feeling, don't we? Now,
Yep.
well, you don't want to have that feeling, because when you're declarer, you should be in charge. So you want to put those niggling doubts in the mind of the declarer when you're a defender. Now, there might be only a handful of players at our club that are capable of playing this forcing defence here, but you can see the advantage of it when you're sitting there looking at a slideshow. You may not be able to find this defence at the table, and that's okay if you don't, but I just want to point out that there are some options available to make the declarer feel uncomfortable, and this is one of them. Okay, now, like I said, you might not all understand this, but just keep in mind that you know that as declarer, you don't want to run out of trumps, or you don't want them to have as many trumps as you. Okay, I just want to mention that just so that you can see that there are some options. Now I'm going to move on, and this one may be another tricky one, but you know, we all need to live a bit. So this is a different hand altogether, and have a look at the bidding, and I want you to assess the bidding, think about your hand, and tell me what you see and what you think.
Hey, with the bidding, Richard, because
Yes.
you've got 14 points,
Yes.
shouldn't you have done bid something at least for your partner to see?
Well, maybe, but what chance
Got
do you get? Your right-hand opponent has opened one heart. That's your best suit.
Yeah.
What options do you have?
Double.
You could double. A double usually says, I have support for the 3 unbid suits.
Oh, I see.
Okay, and
Yeah.
possibly a shortage in the bid suit.
Yeah.
So you mightn't be comfortable with whatever partner bid after you double,
Yep.
because you're only going to get one bid, and they bid 2 diamonds, and you think, oh my God, now what do I do?
Yep.
Or they bid a spade, and you think, I don't know how many they've got. So it's very hard to bid on this hand. Most experienced players would pass and wait on this hand.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what else you think about the hand.
North hasn't got very many hearts.
North doesn't have very many hearts. Who was that? Susie Ingle. Yep, you're right. North doesn't have very many hearts. Now, can everyone see that South has bid 2 suits?
So that's a 5-4 probably.
At least 5-4. They may be 5-5. I know they have at least 5 hearts. They might have 5 diamonds, or they might only have 4 diamonds. But either way, they've told North they don't like no trumps much, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. They haven't got
Okay, so South has said, I'll offer you a second suit, and you can choose between my 2 suits, usually. So North has chosen the suits. What else do we know about the hands?
I suspect they haven't got many points between them, maybe 20 at most. But that also means my partner...
Let's say they don't have 25, but North did make a second bid and bid 3 diamonds when it's not necessarily forcing. So they might have 8, 9 points, and South might have 15 points. They might have 23, 24. If they're experienced players, they're not going to have 25, are they?
No.
Okay, let's say they've got 22 points. 22 points. You have 14. Partner's going to have 3 or 4 points.
Yeah.
What else can you tell me about their hands? There's more.
Which one?
North, south. What else do we know about their hands?
They wouldn't have four spades. North
Good
would
point.
not have
Good
four
point,
spades.
Pen. North doesn't have 4 spades. We know that.
Not 5 clubs.
Probably not, but they mightn't have had 10 points to big clubs in the first place, and they can't introduce their suit when South has said, I'm offering you 2 suits, choose one of these. North has chosen diamonds. Okay. All right. Now, how many hearts in the North hand?
Oh,
Oh,
oh
North.
no,
No,
less than
2.
No more than 2.
No
yes.
more than 2. But imagine if North had 2 hearts to an honour and 3 small diamonds, they might choose hearts over diamonds.
Yes.
South has offered them a choice. South has
Yes.
shown 5 hearts and 4 diamonds at this stage. North mightn't even have a doubleton. So let's say to ourselves that North has a heart shortage.
Yep.
Okay, taking those things into consideration, what is your defensive strategy and thinking?
I'm going to lead a diamond.
You're going to lead a diamond, a trump?
Yep.
Okay. Now, Susie makes a good point here. Good on Susie, your check's in the mail. And the reason, now all of you have seen good defenders lead trumps at you, haven't you?
Yes.
And you might wonder why, or you mightn't like it. Well, the reason they do is defender believes that there's a shortage, especially in dummy, of one of the suits. And they think if they can get rid of a couple of trumps out of dummy, then declarer won't be able to use dummy's trumps to rough their losers. Now, I want you to picture this. If there were no trumps in dummy, let's say all the trumps that are dummy are gone, and hearts haven't been led, how many heart tricks are you going to win?
3.
3.
2 or 3, aren't you?
2 or 3.
Yeah. Now, that's a good situation. The thing is, you need to steel yourself to lead trumps, and there might be some of you that have never done it as an opening lead. Now, the reason you do it here, no, I want you also to think about extra tricks. Now, just think to yourself, even if declarer has 5 diamonds to the ace, king, queen, and there's 3 small diamonds in North, in dummy, declarer is going to win 5 diamond tricks, aren't they?
Yep.
You know they're breaking, and they're going to win 5 diamond tricks. But if the declarer can trump a heart in dummy with a small diamond, that's an extra trick for them. They still have their 5 diamonds to the ace, king, queen. They can utilise one of their small trumps in dummy. They get an extra trick, don't they?
Yep.
So the way to try to stop that is by leading a trump, as rightly. Now, Susie Ingle, we're going to have a game one day. I'm going to see if you do lead trumps when you get the opportunity. And now, you do it when you think there's... So Susie gets the lollies, and you do it when you think there's a shortage in dummy, and you're pretty sure there's a heart shortage in dummy, aren't you?
Yep.
Dummy might have none or 1, possibly 2 hearts, and 3 or 4 diamonds, and they've chosen diamonds. Lead a trump. So you lead a trump, and whenever you get in again, then the declarer will probably have to lead a heart. Whenever you get in next time, what do?
Another trump.
Another trump. If you can get rid of 2 trumps out of dummy and they only get to use 1 of them, you're still going to win 2 heart tricks. Now, this is the end game that we're talking here, but this is how you plan your defensive strategy, and this is why you think about it. And Susie came up with the right answer, and in less than half a minute. So it pays to think about it and go through that thought process in your mind. This is why people lead trumps when there's a known shortage in dummy. Okay. All right. We're going to move on, but well done. Okay. Let's have a look at another hand here. Sometimes when you're defending no trumps, you don't get an opportunity for the opponents to bid a suit and therefore take that into part of your thinking. So tell me what you're thinking about the bidding here before we get to the lead. How many points do they have?
At least 25.
At least 25. So we count them for 25, or sometimes what I do here is say to myself, they have 26 points. So either 1 point either way, and I'll be pretty close, is what I think to myself. So I count that as 26. I know I have how many points there? 11?
11.
Yeah.
So 26 and 11 is 37. Partner has
3.
at most 3 points, perhaps, eh? Maybe 1 point either way, but let's say partner has 3 points.
Mm.
It could be a king, it could be a queen or 2 queens, or a queen and a jack. Okay. All right. So when you thought of that, what else you're thinking about here? The
They're
lead
probably short
strategy.
in the majors.
Sorry?
They're probably short in the majors.
Okay. A good point, Mike. If North has a 4 or 5 card major suit and not completely balanced, they'd probably use Stamen or transfer, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they haven't done that. That's the dog that didn't bark in the night, as I always like to say. So you know that they don't have a major. Well, a 4 card or 5 card major probably. Now, I want you to think in your mind and go through in your mind each of the suits, and then tell me what the answer is, what you think, what you're thinking.
I'd be leading a club because you really want the other suits led towards you, I guess.
Well, I think that's a
See
good
what
point.
happens.
I think that's a good point that Mike makes. And you see, there's always someone comes up with the right answer, isn't it? Right, class.
Yes.
And I think it was Sue. Sue nudged him and said, Mike, you say lead a club. Now, just think to yourself, if you lead a spade or a diamond or a heart, it looks like you'd be giving something away, doesn't it?
Yes.
Mm.
Imagine that partner has the queen of diamonds or the king of hearts or the king of spades. If you lead a low card, it's probably going to get captured, isn't it?
Yes.
King of hearts might be all right, but it's not likely. They might only have the queen. You're going to win tricks there. In all of those 3 suits, you're going to win a spade, a heart, and a diamond, but only if you don't lead them. This is where you calls for the passive defense. Now, the another thing to think of, imagine that South has the ace queen of clubs. Then imagine that your partner has the king of clubs. If they do, their king is going to get picked up because it's finessable. So even if your partner has something in clubs here, you're probably not giving much away because it's probably finessable anyway if they have the king or the queen of clubs. Sit back and wait. You know, we talked about when do you decide to make a passive lead or an assertive lead. This is the time for the passive lead. Partner doesn't have many points. Let declarer lead their suits. They don't like it. They'd rather you led them for them. Okay, so that's a good answer and a good hand. And exactly what I would do. And I've just highlighted the 7 of clubs for the reasons that we spoke of before. Second from 3 or 4 worthless cards. So yes, good answer. Okay. We've got a couple more here, and just in the opening lead before we look at third hand. Oh, okay, opening lead. Look at your hand. Think about partner's hand. Think about your suits. Who's going to lead your suit, partner's suit? What does partner have? What do the opponents have? Talk
Partner's
to
got
me,
spade.
team.
I'd lead spades.
Okay, we have 2 votes for spades. Now,
Mm.
you often lead your longest suit against no trumps. And in this case, let's say you automatically rule out, let's say you think to yourself the partner's got 8 points or so, all right? They have 26, as I always tell myself, 26, and you won either way. If they have 26, we have 14, and I have 6, partner has 8. Okay. Now, think to yourself, sometimes it's easier to rule out what you're not going to lead than what you are going to lead. So I think it's pretty easy to dismiss the hearts and clubs here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to lead them.
Uh-huh.
They only leads the 2 pointy suits, as they call them. So diamonds or spades, and we're going to lead one of those. Now, think about the diamonds. You have 6 diamonds. Would we be able to establish the diamond suit?
Probably, because you've
Yes.
got kings there that you might be able to.
You might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what would partner need to have for you to establish the diamond suit and lead back to you? They'd have to have the ace king of diamonds and the 2 of diamonds for you to win the first 6 tricks.
Yeah.
You lead a diamond, they win the ace, they win the king, and north south have a doubleton, queen and jack each. And then they'd have to have the 2 of diamonds to get back to you, because that's the only way they get an entry back to your diamonds. So maybe we could establish the diamonds, or maybe we couldn't. I'd say it's highly unlikely that partner has much in diamonds, maybe 1 honour. And you can play these through these things in your mind. Let's say partner has the king of diamonds, maybe even the king queen of diamonds, and you lead a 7 of diamonds. They play their high diamond queen for reasons we'll go through in a minute. Declarer wins their ace. Declarer plays on clubs, and you win your king of clubs. Now you lead a 2nd diamond over to partner's queen. Now, do they have the 2 of diamonds to get back to you? Do they have another diamond? Are you going to get in again? Maybe not. So these are the things you think of. Would I have time to establish the diamonds, even with the best case scenario of partner having the king queen or the ace king? And I think maybe not. So I would probably be leaning to leading a spade in this instance, and think, okay, partner's got probably more points than me. They haven't shown spades, the opponents. I'm going to lead a spade. And in this case, I'm going to lead the middle up down 7 of spades. Either way is not bad. A diamond's not bad. It's not a bad lead, because I don't think it'll give much away, by the way. Because let's say that declarer and if declarer and dummy have 5 diamonds between them, that only leaves partner with 2. And if declarer and dummy have 6 diamonds, 3 each, that only leaves a singleton for partner, which I reckon that north-south are going to be fairly balanced. So I think they're likely to have at least 5 diamonds between them, maybe 6, and partner's going to have 1 or 2. So either way, but think of these things first. It doesn't matter sometimes what the end result is, as long as you have that thought process. And if you give it consideration, then dismiss it, that's better than never having thought of it at all. So, okay, that's hand number 8. Now, I think I've got one more before we move on. Now, you might have to think about the bidding on this one too, while I just have a drink of water, and you can tell me what you think. Points and shape of the opponents.
Don't bid, so they're saying I've got 16 points.
19 points.
No, 6, 4,
Oh, the,
19.
no.
Paul had about 16.
1, 2,
19, I would think, with the
No.
jump shit.
Okay,
26.
now I hear you talking out loud, and that's a good idea. By the way, I had to number this 8A because I ran out of numbers because I had the other ones done first. But now you said about North. I think North has to have 18, 19
Yeah.
because South, their partner might only have 6 points.
Yeah.
Bid one no trump. So, okay, what else we're thinking? What about shape of hand? What's North's shape?
He's got probably 5 spades and 4 hearts, or 5-5.
Let's say 5-5 for the just for assessment purposes at this point in time. Let's say they're 5-5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If they're 5-5, how many?
South
How
doesn't.
many? What does South have in the majors?
Less than 3.
Two.
Less than 3 spades.
Yeah.
Less than 4 hearts.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's
Yep.
say at the very most they've got 2 spades and 3 hearts.
3
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. If they've got 2 spades at the most, 3 hearts at the most, what does that leave them in the minors? South.
Even less.
5 big cards.
4-3.
At least 8. They have at least 8 in the minor cards. Remember, South can't have any more than 2 spades. South can't have any more than 3 hearts. So if they've got 2 and 3, they have 8 minor cards. South. These are things you need to consider before the lead, what they have. So it looks like South will have 8 or 9 cards in the minors. All right. So think of that before you decide what suit you might be leading. Eliminate one or two of the, eliminate one of the suits that you're going to lead. You're not going to lead a spade.
No.
All right. So that leaves 3 other suits.
Maybe a heart, because obviously the South doesn't like hearts either. So it means that your partner must have a few hearts over there.
That's top of the sequence.
Okay. Now, I think that that's a good idea. Well, that was Sue, wasn't it? I think that's a good idea. Just think to yourself, we know that South has as many cards in the minors or more than you do. If you lead a minor, you probably give away a trick. If you don't lead the minors, you probably win a trick if they have to play on their minors. I would be thinking in this instance, by the way, how many points does partner have?
What do we say?
8?
8.
Yeah, I think 8
Mm.
or so, one either way, 8, 9 points. Now, I think I'd be conservative here and lead a passive heart. The 10 of hearts through the strong heart is not going to give much away, I don't think. And you'll probably end up with, you're going to end up with a spade, and you'll probably end up with a minor trick as well. Remember, the type of game that we play, if we ever get back to actually sitting across the table from one another, is duplicate, where we compare our scores with other tables, like we spoke about last week. So that means that when you're defending, sometimes the answer is damage limitation rather than defeating the contract.
Yep.
So if your opponents here only make 9 tricks, and the opponents at other table, at the other north-souths make 10 tricks, you're going to get a profit from it. So think of that. And I think in this case, I would lead the hearts. I don't think I'd lead a minor suit, but just because I know that South has them. By the way, it's not a clear-cut thing, and all these most of these hands are out of my head, so it all depends. You know, I get a chance to make up what's in the hands. But yeah, I think that's what I would do. Okay, now did everyone get the email that I sent that next week I'll be unavailable?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Understood that? Okay, thank you for that. By the way, next week I have a Zoom meeting of bridge teachers on the all-day Tuesday, and an appointment in Wodonga. Luckily, I don't have to go to New South Wales on the Wednesday. So, okay. I'll just show you a few more hands. This time, you're going to be east, not west. Now, this time, I've included a hand that I've repeated from last week. just so that you can understand the process here and why we do certain things. Now, you might remember this hand from last week. It's always been a bit of a mantra when you're the third hand. If partner makes the lead, you're the third hand. So the mantra has always been third hand high, where you play your highest card when partner leads a suit. But as we noted last week, that's not always beneficial to your side. Now, partner, the bidding has gone 2 no trumps, 3 no trumps. So partner has led the 2 of hearts. Partner's probably, you have 8 points, partner's probably only got about 6 or so. And what does partner have in hearts?
Has
Probably length and an honour.
Length and an honour. Okay, they have an honour. So it's got to be the ace or the queen, because you can see the king, the jack and the 10. How many hearts does partner have?
4, 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4 is a good point. And I'd say 4 at this stage because they've got a free choice of lead. So let's say they've got 4 to an honour. Now, when declarer plays the 3 of hearts from the table, now we did talk about this week, but I'll talk about it again. If you play the king of hearts, and let's say declarer wins the ace of hearts, they now have a guaranteed entry to dummy with the jack of hearts, because let's say they win the ace and win your king, they need to lead a low heart towards the jack on the table, and West either goes up with the queen or doesn't go up with the queen, but either way, the jack is an entry now or later. When declarer gets an entry to dummy, they're going to bang down that queen of clubs and pick up your king of clubs, just like that. So your king of clubs is out of the window, that's gone. And then they may get another entry and lead through your queen of spades. You might end up with no tricks with this hand if you play the king of hearts. Now, I want you to just visualize what will happen if you play the 10 of hearts. Now, by the way, this situation is like a surround play. This only happens when you know that partner has an honour, you see a high card in dummy, high-ish card, and you have cards either side of that high card in dummy. It's nearly always right to play the lower of your 2 high cards, not the high one in this instance. So you play the 10 of hearts here. Declarer wins the queen or the ace. They now don't have a guaranteed entry to dummy, because if they lead low to the jack, your king's going to beat it. So you have denied them an entry to dummy. Now, a lot of people think this is finessing against your partner, but this time, and not only is it condoned, it's mandatory to play the second, not the highest of your 2 cards that surround the high one in dummy. Of course, if declarer played the jack from dummy, you would couple with the king. But this way, you're keeping them out of dummy and you're protecting your other 2 cards. I think it's probably a 3-trick difference on this hand. If you play the king of hearts or if you play the 10 of hearts. But it's not always that
straightforward,
obvious, but yeah, you can see it this time. But nearly always do it. Okay. That leads me to another point, when you're defending third hand. So that's the only time you don't play your highest one. And one of the only times, because there is a conventional play. On this next hand, you can see that the bidding is similar. Well, no, sorry, the contract is the same, 3 no trumps. The lead is the same, your partner's led the 2 of hearts. But now they're different hands. So the declarer plays the low heart from dummy. Now, I know the mantra is you always play your highest card if you don't have another choice here.
I presume that with the king or the ace.
Yes, but there is also there's a conventional way to play these cards. If you have 2 or 3 cards that are equal highest,
You play the low
equal highest, you play the lower of those equal cards. Now, in this case, you play the Jack of Hearts.
Yep.
Now, it mightn't be immediately apparent why, but this is something you will get to later on in your bridge career, and it will become more obvious. Let's say that your partner has the King of Hearts. If you play the Queen of Hearts, declarer wins the ace, your partner doesn't know where the Jack is if you don't have this agreement or you don't play this way. Now, think of it, if your partner, if you play the Jack of Hearts, same scenario, partner wins the Ace of Hearts, and you, declarer wins the Ace of Hearts, your partner has the King of Hearts. Now, you've played the Jack. Partner's thinking, where's the Queen of Hearts? Declarer cannot have the Queen of Hearts, because if they've got the Ace Queen, they would have won the lower one, the Queen, and kept their ace. Therefore, they know that you have the Queen when you play the Jack here. Now, I know that might not be immediately apparent to lesser experienced players, and you might think that's a bit of magical thinking that you mightn't be able to get your head around, but that's okay. Just think of it this way: when you have equal high cards, play the lower of those equal cards. If you have King, Queen, Jack, you play the Jack. And then declarer, well, that means partner's got the 10 if declarer's got the ace. So play the equal of the sequence, the lowest of the equal sequence. If it's Queen, Jack, 10, you would play the 10. Okay, Queen, Jack, 10, 9, you play the 9. Play the lowest of your equal high cards. Okay, and that will, like I said, doesn't matter if you don't get it now, later on, you will, at some stage you will, and you have an understanding why. But your partner, you have to be on the same wavelength here, and partner has to have that logical, interpretive mind of thinking about what you have and what you don't have. And I know that's a bit of a leap of faith sometimes, but you'll get there. Okay, I just want to show you that when you don't always play your highest card, those 2 instances.
Richard, can I ask, in that hand, oh, sorry.
You're right, I've got it back there. Yeah.
When you've got that Queen and Jack of clubs, if they played the Jack, say, would you put the King on there when there's still an honour in dummy? When you've got 2 honours.
Is that you, Sue?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, that's a good point. It's not something I had covered here because we're mostly talking about opening leads,
Yeah,
but
sorry.
it's a good point. And when do you cover an honour? That is a very good point. Now, traditional thinking is if you can see the honours, never cover the first one. Cover the second of equal honours. So if declarer gets the dummy here and leads the Queen of clubs, don't play the King. If they then lead the Jack, you play the King.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the promotion aspect. And it's very hard to explain here, but cover the last of the equal honours.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and by the way, you probably noticed that because players at our club make such dodgy finesses, they mightn't always have the Jack, so nearly everyone covers with the King anyway. But here you can see the Jack. The Chinese finesse, as they used to say. Okay, now we're going to go to the last hand that I have. Then you all get a big relief. So your partner's led the 7 of hearts. Have a look at the bidding and the lead, and tell me what partner has, what declarer has, etc. You've opened the bidding, by the way.
They've got 3. Who's got
South
3?
must have 16 points in a balanced hand
Mm.
to overbid one no trump.
Right.
Yes, good point.
West 2 hearts.
8 hearts, 7 hearts.
How many hearts does your partner have?
3.
3, at least.
Do they have an honour?
Probably.
No.
No.
No. It's a definitive answer. No, because they've led the 7.
Mm.
They're probably playing middle up down. They've probably got the 8-7-3 or something like that. Okay. Partner does not have a heart honour. They'd lead a low card if they did. Trust your partner. So they don't have a heart honour. Where's the king and the queen?
In South.
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 Okay. How many points does your partner have?
Almost none.
6 to 10.
No, yeah, 6 to 10 support points. Remember, that might be a shortage.
Yep.
So they might have a shortage in the minors. They might have a shortage in clubs because they've counted their points. If you look at your high card points, partner can only have about 3 points. I think partner's got a king and a singleton club. That's the way I'm thinking. Because they've got 6 support points, but not high card points. Because the opponents have got 25. And 16 and 9 is 25. And your 12 makes 37. Only leaves 3 points for partner. South might only have 15 points, but then only leaves 4 points for partner. Okay, partner's got 3 or 4 points. Now, what are you thinking? How are you going to defend the hand?
Mm.
Are you going to win the ace of hearts or not win the ace of hearts?
No.
No.
Okay, let's say you don't. Let's say that partner,
Yes.
Mm.
how many club tricks do you think the declarer has?
Probably 5.
Probably 5. I'd say definitely 5. If partner doesn't have the king of clubs, declarer must have it, and they'll make 5 tricks. If partner does have the king of clubs, and it's doubleton or tripleton, and they have a singleton diamond, declarer is going to pick up the king of clubs. They definitely have 5 club tricks. They've definitely got 1 heart trick because they've just made it if you duck it. They definitely have the ace of spades. Well, you're pretty sure they do. You can see 8 tricks here. So, okay. So let's revise our thinking and say we'll win the ace of hearts. What else are we thinking? If you do win the ace of hearts, what do you play now? You return a heart, passive, or do you think of something more assertive?
Mm. 6 of hearts.
All right.
Get to the again.
Okay, if you lead the 6 of hearts, they've got guaranteed 9 tricks, no problem, probably more. It's not bad, but they've got 2 stops in hearts, remember? You win the ace, they're going to win the king, and then they're going to win their queen. They've got 3. By the way, you know they have 3 hearts. King, queen, small, declarer, because you can see partner has 3, you have 5, and dummy has 2. They have 3 hearts, king, queen, small. They've got 2 heart stops. Okay, now what I'm thinking here is, if you win the ace of hearts, what's possible for your partner to have in their hand? They could have the ace of spades, not likely. They could have the king of clubs, not likely, because I think they've got a king and a singleton club. They could have the king of diamonds.
Yeah.
And not only that, they could have the king jack of diamonds, 4 points.
Mm.
So I'd be thinking about switching to a diamond here, win the ace of hearts, lead a low diamond through the strength. If partner can win the king, the jack or the 10, then lead a low diamond back to your ace, and you put another diamond through, you hope, the queen in the south hand. You could win 3 or 4 tricks in diamonds as well as your ace of hearts. You might have a chance of defeating this contract. Now, this is the difference, the choice you make. If you win the ace of hearts and return a heart, you're saying we're not going to defeat this contract. We'll let them win their 9, 10 tricks. Can everyone see the 9 tricks if you win the ace of hearts?
Yes.
Declarer has the ace of spades, so there's 2 spade tricks. They have the king, queen of hearts, that's 4 tricks. And they have 5 club tricks. We know they've got 5 club tricks. We can see them just about. So we can see 9 tricks that the opponents have. So you can either be passive and say, okay, I know you're going to win your contract, so I'm just going to return a heart. Or you can be aggressive, assertive, active, whatever you like to call the A word, by leading a low diamond. Don't lead your ace of diamonds, lead a low diamond. And retain the ace of diamonds as an entry to get back in to lead another diamond through south, hopefully, queen of diamonds. So that's just a way of thinking that you might have to adapt when on the fly and think, what do I do now? Do I return a heart or do I look for more tricks? So I just want to share with you the thoughts that would run through the mind of a good defender, rather than just automatically win the heart or duck the heart and return a heart and go with the flow. So your declarer is probably relieved if you just return a heart, because they're on top of the game now. They can see 5 club tricks. They'll probably knock out the ace of diamonds now, while they still have their heart stop. And then they'll win the second heart, 1 or 2 diamonds, and there are other 8, 9 tricks. So I think that's they're going to win 10 tricks here without you switching. So think of those things. There might be another. This is what we call positive projection. You think about what your partner might have in their hand that would enable you to defeat this contract. So they call it positive projection. They say, okay, partner can have the king, jack of diamonds. I'm going to play them for the king, jack of diamonds and maybe the 10 and lead a low diamond and beat this contract. Doesn't always work out, but that's I just want to tell you the thinking mode that we have in if you're on your game as a defender. Okay, I think everyone, I'm going to stop sharing the screen now. I've probably run out of voice as well. Oh, you're all still there. What lovely folks we have. And thank you all. How's everyone going? All good with that?
Yeah, good.
That was good.
Thank you.
Okay. Now,
Need lots more thinking time, Richard.
I know, more thinking time, Kath. It's difficult, isn't it? Now,
It is.
has anyone been playing bridge online?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I know that Pen, you haven't you? Pen's been playing. The shirty lady's been playing on BBO. I know that.
Playing on Step Bridge.
Sorry?
Step Bridge, I've been playing.
And who you been playing with on Step Bridge?
Carmen and Sue Barber.
Sue Barber and Carmen.
Yep.
All right, and you've been playing, and Anne and Pam have been playing on Step Bridge. Peter Westmoreland, Peter Webb.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Yes, Barb and Sandy
Barb and Sandy been playing on BBO, haven't you?
with Penny. Yep.
With Penny, yeah, okay. Now, the reason I ask is that I've just been making a video or two about BBO and the options that you have when you play on BBO. I think Step Bridge is good if you have a partner and you can play regular bridge online with a partner, because they have games at appointed times. Are you playing today, Susie?
Yep, 1:15.
1:15, and who are you playing with today?
Carmen.
With Carmen at 1:15. There you go. So that's what we've been doing. So if you haven't been playing on BBO or Stepbridge, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm making a video or two, and I'll let you know when I put that on YouTube. And if you're interested, and we'll see how we go. It's good to see that people have been doing things. Any other questions or comments from anyone?
No, that was good. Thank you.
Yep.
We all good? Next week, I'm not available. I'm not crossing the border. I'm not going along the causeway. So good luck with everyone. And thank you very much.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
Are you available next Monday?
Sorry?
Are you available next week for the, Tuesday lesson?
No.
No.
No, because I've got a hookup. I've got appointments on both days.
On Tuesday, not Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
See you in 2 weeks then.
Thanks,
All right.
Richard.